So 49ers run defense against the Packers rushing offense. And early on here, Packers were getting over on the 49ers. They running right at them like they did here, getting 4 yards on this play. As you can see, 2nd and 6 on this play, getting to the outside, using the 49ers aggressiveness against them, right? Defensive ends trying to fly upfield, linebackers kind of overrunning it. It was, again, pretty impressive game plan by LaFleur and the Packers. Just digging into the playbook, right? Going inside, outside, using motion. Aaron Jones is a very good outside runner. And I don't want to say they got over on the 49ers, but they stayed ahead of the chains, and that's what you have to do against a team like this because eventually they're going to make plays. So I thought it was interesting that the 49ers elected to roll with, so number 69 here, Sebastian Joseph Day, over Javon Kinlaw. Joseph Day ended up coming onto the field first, but he only played 10 snaps. And I think after this first drive, once they got Javon Kinlaw in the game, they kind of realized that Kinlaw was just way more effective. So maybe that's Shanahan relying on, quote unquote veterans, as he did in this game, over the younger guys. But like eventually you just have to play your best players. It shaped out like that along the defensive line. Will that be the case in the secondary? But eventually, when you invest as much as you do in your defensive line, you need players to make plays. And that's exactly what happens here. Like those 4-yard gains, as annoying as they might be to watch on the TV, they're not going to hurt you in the long run, right? If your plan is to methodically march down the field against 49ers defense, whether it's Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, like one of those three, like they're going to make a play. And that's exactly what Bosa does here. So I want to talk about the running game, or the run defense, I should say, and then how the Packers were able to have a little bit of success. And then when it came down to it, just like it did in this play, the best players made plays and helped the 49ers get off the field. So Bosa is Bosa. You put a tight end on him, like he's so athletic to cross their face, just impossible to stop right there. So I mentioned Kinlaw. Here he is in the middle. He does not get moved off his spot against the double. So he actually resets the line of scrimmage. And by that I just mean, so they're playing on this side. Instead, he's playing on that side of the ball. Pushes the guard back. That way, that down block from the center can't do anything. So the center's wasted because of Kinlaw wins, which plus. Now, linebacker's free to come downhill. He was so good in this game. Young, questionable, but on this play, he wins, and they're going to need more of that. So maybe it's as simple, like I said, just, rolling with a guy like Kinlaw who falls right there. Kinlaw was really good in this game, though. So maybe we see an uptick in his snaps against the Lions. So the Lions are going to be without their starting left guard, and he was not good. The backup was not good against Vita Vea. Just something to keep an eye on, but Kinlaw was great in this game. So another reason why I like running the ball against the 49ers over the course of a game isn't going to work is because of the linebacker play. We all know about Fred Warner. Like, just watch 54 in the middle. He is as aggressive as it gets, but Greenlaw is right there, man. I know he had the 2 interceptions, but if you remove both of those, like I still think Greenlaw was one of, if not the best player on the field on Saturday night against the Packers because of plays like this. But the way that these two fly around in the middle, how aggressive they are, oh man, it makes it really tough to do anything over the middle of the field. So one of the biggest critiques from the Commanders fans when the 49ers traded for Chase Young was that he just kind of freelanced. He kind of does his own thing. And that was an issue with the Commanders coaching staff. So we saw Young just predominantly play on passing downs. And it's probably because of plays like this. So he doesn't crash inside, right? It's not anything egregious, but you can tell by the alignment. He is wide. He is responsible for this edge right here to set the edge. Nobody gets outside of him. There's 2 defenders inside of Young, meaning gap, probably, clean up. And then he has the outside. Instead, Young tries to cross the tackle's face. And this is the Packers doing what they do well, taking advantage of the 49ers' aggressiveness, using it against them. But there were a few plays where, obviously, there was a reverse later in the game, where Young he didn't do his job. And when you don't do your job in the playoffs, teams like the Packers, teams like the Lions, they're going to use that against you. They're going to scheme that against you. So definitely something to keep an eye on next week, maybe in the Super Bowl, assuming the 49ers get there. But you have to do your job. And when you don't, plays like this happen. So I mentioned the linebacker play. Watch Fred Warner trigger on this running play. Free run through, times it perfectly, just as good as it gets, but misses. And then corner, your force player, he's unblocked. Like in the NFL nowadays, they're going to make corners tackle. They are not worried about him at all. They're going to come down, crack the safety, and make him make a play. And Shanahan's been doing it for years, so it's no surprise that LaFleur did the same thing. Corners are not trying to tackle. That can't happen, right? Obviously, if you're Steve Wilks, you want Warner to make this play before it even gets to the outside. I don't know what he does. Maybe just want to run through instead of lunge, dive at the very end there. But I mean, Jones is shifty. Jones is athletic. I think it's more egregious that the corner, he just can't get outside of you. You have to take this angle, force him back to him, force him back to the flow of the defense, right? But there's no way he can get outside of you. Instead he does. And Jones picks up the first down. So without question, one of the three best players on the field was Deommodore Lenoir on Saturday night. He got them out of, some tough spots. Here, just dives in, knifes in, makes a play. Should have been a tackle for loss. Running back trips and dives forward just beyond the line of scrimmage. But the tight end coming across the line of scrimmage, a little split zone action, like he has no idea who to block. He doesn't even pick Lenoir up. Lenoir knifes in so quickly. So, 2 was very good in this game, and he's going to have to be against the Lions. So it's not like Lenoir struggled this season at all, but I want to point out some of the plays he's making, because like these plays against the run, like nobody wants to talk about it, right? It's all passing league, but making these plays, especially in the red zone, big time. So kudos to number 2. And I think a big reason, why these plays are so important is because 2nd and 9 allows the 49ers, you can watch him talking crap to love. I love that about this team, by the way. But 2nd and 9, now you can pin your ears back. And now you get Bosa, Hargrave. And they made plays on successive plays on the next 2 plays. So winning on early downs is so vital for the 49ers' success. Another vital part about this defense is those D linemen making plays. They pay Armstead, Hargrave, Bosa a ton of money to do this. Like, it is in their contract to make plays, essentially. Here's Eric Armstead going against a double team. Arm over, wins. Is able to fight off that pressure and makes a stop at the line of scrimmage. That is a very difficult play to make. So you see on the other side, Hargrave gets kind of washed out there. So that could have been bad. As far as the linebackers go, Fred Warner steps down. But that's all Armstead. And Armstead was very good. I would argue that Armstead was probably the best D lineman in this game. And it was because of plays like this. He was close to the quarterback quite a bit. But these kind of run stops, that gives you, the ability to rush the passer and get into these 3rd and long situations. All right, bottom of the screen, Chase Young. Packers, what are they going to do? They know that they are going to fly upfield, these edge rushers, these defensive ends. Why his first step is in and down the line of scrimmage, I have no idea. Why? What's taking? I know the ball is going there, but you have to be able to see, first of all, ignore this. Ignore this guy coming around. Watch the tight end. That's the block that you'd be taking on, and he's not even in a position to do that. So if Jones cuts back, it'd be a big run. Young's on the hash, and Reed's on the hash. So it's a foot race between, I think he was a 4-3 guy. Obviously a good athlete, but just never in a million years is he going to be able to make that play. So, this is where, the discipline, doing your job comes into play, and that's going to be big because the offensive minds, Ben Johnson, the quarterbacks Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. Like, they're going to take advantage if Young is just out here freelancing and doing his own thing and, just not being disciplined. So definitely something the 49ers are going to have to, I don't want to say coach out of him, but just making sure he's playing within the structure of the defense. All right, it's 1st and 10. This is right after the big kick return. So, it could have been disastrous. The Packers are in premium position to score points. You need somebody to make a play. Who else? Nick Bosa. So let's see from the end zone angle here. 1-on-1. Watch what happens. Oh, he's unblocked. I thought the tackle was going to step out. He doesn't. Just leave 97 unblocked, which, offenses do this. Probably not with a caliber of player like Bosa, but I assume they're expecting Jones is going to be able to either bounce it in time before Bosa can work his way down the line of scrimmage. And that just does not happen. And here we go on the opposite side. Maybe it's because Young does his job and he does set the edge. Yeah, he does do a good job. And that's what's the most frustrating about a player like Chase Young is like he can do, like when he does what he's supposed to, he's very good at it. And they are very difficult to stop. But, this play is all Bosa, right? Just effort, chasing down, backside, Warner being Warner as always. It's a lot of good players on this side of the ball. All right, so it's 1st down, 1st and goal at the 5. You know what they're going to do? They're going to run right at you. And there's Kinlaw making a play. I don't want to say this is his best game, but there's no doubt him playing fewer snaps, as opposed to when Armstead was out and it was Kinlaw and Kalia Davis playing 40, 45, 50 snaps. It's tough. It's just a big ask, but when Kinlaw can play 20, 25 snaps, be fresh, eats the double here, splits it, makes it stop at the line of scrimmage. That is a very good play. Not easy to do at all. All right. This run felt like ball game, right? So before this, Jones had 17 carries, was averaging 3.2 yards per carry. Like, there were those 4, there was some 5, there was 7s in there, but overall, the 49ers really had him bottled up. And then this happened. So, from this angle, looks like the front side defenders, by the way, you can tell from the end zone angle, he does his job. Deommodore Lenoir, he's a force player, forces Jones to cut back. Looks like both linebackers are almost expecting Jones to get outside. They kind of overrun the play. I don't know what Bosa is doing here. Bosa just, oof. Burks is a little late to recognize the play. Like, there's no way he should be cut off by somebody, 300 pounds. But he is. You can see how late he was. But, the real culprit on this one is Logan Ryan, who was starting over Jair Brown because Brown missed tackles, right? Because he was supposed to be trustworthy. And that is just not an effort you can have in a playoff setting. Not from a veteran, not from your last line of defense. Can't happen, right? It's just not acceptable. So there's a lot wrong on this play. But there's a speedster, number 7, chasing him down. It was actually the fastest ball carrier of the weekend. Or not ball carrier, player. Mooney Ward reached 20 miles an hour to chase him down. So defense, just got to make a tackle, live to fight another down. And thankfully they were able to get him on the ground. But after that one, just felt like the wind went out of their sails. I should say that of the stadium. Oh, just really strange. Yeah, I don't know what Bosa was doing right there. Burks was, like I said, Burks was really late to recognize what was going on. He's looking in the backfield. Yeah, he's got to be over there. But Ryan, you have to make this tackle. Diving at a 180-pound running back, no bueno. So I don't want to say no harm, no foul, because it certainly felt like a lot of harm at the time. But, they were obviously able to get past it. Still, that was a big one. And and I think it's a good point that all it takes is one, right? One explosive play, and that can flip the field. I say Greenlaw was one of the better players on the field. It's plays like this. He should have been at least at the very worst second team All Pro. That is you should have to release your ballots. I want to see people who thought Patrick Queen, Bobby Wagner was a better player than that this season. It just didn't happen. He is the reason, like him and Warner are the reason that the 49ers are probably going to advance next week and play in the Super Bowl. At least on this side of the ball, they are as good as it gets. Ferocious, fast, physical. You can tell when they hit you, like ball carriers feel it and they make business decisions over the course of the game. There's a couple more plays in the past outside of the interceptions that I'm going to show in the next video that both Warner and Greenlaw made. These two, like the dynamic duo that they are, just a really special duo. And the 49ers have been pretty fortunate at the linebacker position. That's all I want to show for the running plays. Just really want to paint the picture that, when they play sound defense, they get off the field. But, when they have guys, whether it's running up the field, crashing inside, just not doing their job, not giving full out effort, the big plays happen. Or I should say the offense was able to get ahead of the chains. But over the course of the game, I thought the run defense was pretty good.